welcome back to my YouTube channel. Whether you're watching this on Facebook or different platforms, a very warm welcome. For those who are new here, my name is Bernadette Desir. I am a Haitian Canadian adoptee, mother, mental health advocate, artist, and podcaster. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please be sure to subscribe, comment, because I want to hear from you guys, your thoughts, and anything else you'd like for me to talk about, any other topics, please do so. All right. And make sure you spread the love, spread the word, and let's continue to empower, educate, and uplift each other when it comes to mental health or many other aspects in life. All right. So, my role into sharing this is really not much. It's for me to share my story, share my journey, and in the hope to spark change, to empower people, to give people a glimpse of what it's like to live with the illnesses that I live with, because I know I'm not alone in what I experience, what I've experienced, and continue to experience. All right. And disclaimer for this video, for all the videos I've shared on mental health. All right, you guys, it's for educational purposes and to raise awareness about mental health. And as you all can see, I've been very open about sharing my story with the world, essentially. And my hope is to help people do the same. All right. So if you're new here, maybe this is the first time you're watching this. Maybe you don't know the marathon that I've been working on and doing. So I've been focusing on schizophrenia specifically. This is, I believe, my fourth or third video on it. All right. I am focusing on schizophrenia for many, many reasons. All right. I'm diagnosed with it. Different from what the illnesses are. None of us are our illnesses. It's a label. Yes, get the treatment you need. All right. So I've talked about, let me give you a recap of what I've talked about. Okay, it might make it a bit easier. And if you do find those videos helpful, like I've said, share, like, comment, subscribe, and let's continue to encourage each other. All right. So the first video, I shared my story, my journey living with schizophrenia. I still am. And how scary it was. I break down some myths that society have, the media and social media, how we get it all wrong. All right. And yeah, be sure to check that video out if that interests you. All right. And on my second video, I debunked more myths on schizophrenia. And I also break down the different spectrums of schizophrenia, because some people may think, oh, okay, this person is schizophrenic. Oh, great. Okay. So they don't understand the layers of it, the depths of it, and how it can be separate for one person to another person. It's not the same at all. So check that out if you want to learn more about the different spectrums of schizophrenia. All right. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few things as I wrap up this series that I've been doing on schizophrenia and mental health. All right. So I'll be talking about diagnosis, support, treatment, and lifestyle. All right. And that looks different for everybody. What works for me will definitely not work for you. It may work, but it's different. Okay. So that's what I'm going to walk through, and along side of you while I walk through it, I'll just be sharing my story. I'll be putting a bit of my story here and examples. Geez, I can't talk. All right. And also I'll be sharing the different side effects of medication. We need to know those. All right. And I don't know if people have heard of this. I want to share also the positive and the negative symptoms of schizophrenia. I don't see anything positive about positive symptoms. It's all terrifying when someone is experiencing them. All right. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. All right, you guys. And I want to empower people, inspire people, and continue to spread the love, continue to dismantle the stigma that is so tied to schizophrenia. All right. I want people to see people, not always their illnesses. All right. So let me start with the positive symptoms. Why not? Okay, that's how it's categorized. And it's so interesting as I'm doing my research, I'm learning about all those things. Because I remember until recently, I knew what I was diagnosed with, but I was so scared to learn more about it in depth and in detail. All right. So positive symptoms, there's so many. Hallucination, delusions, disorganized thinking, disorganized or abnormal behavior. All right. Negative symptoms. Oh, there's quite a few there. Alogia. Okay. They reduced speech, lack of pleasure, lack of motivation, and a flat affect. Let me speak on the flat effect, which I think, when people are experiencing that with schizophrenia, we just assume that they're not interested in hearing what we have to say. They're not interested in connecting and how they're connecting or expressing themselves. It's like they don't care, but we do. We really do care. It's just a different aspect of translating, collecting information, and communicating. All right. And another one is social withdrawal. All right. So these are some of the positive and negative symptoms. Maybe you've heard about them. Maybe you haven't, but that's what they are. All right. All right. Let's go to medication side effects. And obviously, always take your medications as prescribed. Always listen to healthcare professionals. And also always be willing to advocate for yourself for what's right. All right. And there's been lots of research, so many different types of medications that may work for one person, that may not work for another person. So I thought I'd go over them. So you guys can have an idea of the different medications and side effects. All right. So from my understanding, there's the first generation medications and also second generation medications. All right. And both are being used to treat schizophrenia. Okay. And here's a few of the first ones. Typical antipsychotics, which is first generations. All right. And there's quite a bit of side effects to them, which I think applies to honestly any medications anyone takes. There'll always be side effects, whether it's positive or negative. There's always that risk of having to feel and experience and live with discomfort and side effects. All right, you guys. So one of the many side effects for the first generation medication is involuntary or facial body movements, tremor. I used to have tremors, they're not as bad. Muscle stiffness, yeah. Slow movement. So maybe you just got put on your medication and everything feels that like they're slowing down. It feels like the world just slows down. So that's a side effect of first generation, all right? Restlessness and just not being able to stay still. You have to be on the go. I think that's a very common side effects with most medications for schizophrenia or mental health antipsychotics, all right? And what else? Oh, the feeling um, of being sluggish and extreme drowsiness. You guys, I had that. All right. I'm on quetiapine. And when I first was on it, I had to be hospitalized to go on it. And let me tell you, it's nothing like I've experienced before until I was experiencing it. Everything slowed down. It's like, whoa, what is going on? And my heart rate was up and I was very drowsy. It's weird. Again, everyone can experience that differently who are on those meds or have been on them. Um, Feels like my thoughts were slowed down. My speech, everything I was doing was slow. And prior to being on them, it felt like my thoughts were like a highway. That's the best example I can come up with. Just a highway, constant movement, constant thoughts that were being popped up. It couldn't slow down. And the meds I was on, still on, slowed it down. And when it did that, it sort of did help because it's like catching my breath after running for so long, like a brain marathon. All right. So it's different for everybody. And dry mouth and constipation, which is a very common one for most medications. All right. Weight gain. Some people gain weight. Some people lose weight being on those type of medications. All right. And also dizziness and fainting. That's very common. All right. And yeah, like I said, everything has a side effect, all right? And let's talk about the second type of medication, which is called atypical antibiotics, second generation, all right? They use more of the second one instead of the first one, but obviously it depends on the symptoms. When it comes to prescribing stuff. Obviously, I'm not a healthcare professional. From my experience, it's a trial and error. You got to keep trying different medications. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. You just got to keep trying and find the ones that works. All right. And when you're in the trial of trying, obviously, sometimes someone is so sick, healthcare professionals have to um, not take their free will away, if I may put it that way. Do what's in the best interest for them at the time. And they may put them on medications that they think will work. And until they're well enough to advocate to say this is not working. All right. Always listen to your doctors. Okay, you guys, what else do I have to share here? Oh, yeah, metabolism effects. All right. It can impact so many different things. It can impact the heart, blood sugar, and so many other things, you guys. Appetite. Um, I'll speak on the appetite part. I noticed since being on my meds, my appetite is not the same. It has gone down. And it happens. It can happen to anybody. All right. So these are the different type of medication, the classes and the symptoms. All right. Now let's go to diagnosis, support, treatment, and lifestyle adjustments. All right. And diagnosis, that's a healthcare professionals, they'll diagnose you. Okay. And it takes time for them to do that. At times there are very very violent symptoms that arises that they already know what's wrong, and from there they take quick action, which is what happened to me. Excuse me, I gotta drink some water. All right, they already knew what was wrong, and right away they took action, and I'm so grateful for that. All right. um there are many different steps that can be used, all right, for them to diagnose. And it can take some time. So they're going to be doing like a clinical assessment. They're going to look at your family history, the symptoms, medical history, and just to make sure that nothing you're currently experiencing mentally is connected to any other types of illnesses that your family line may have had or may have, or that you may be experiencing at the time. All right. And also, I know they've used diagnostic criterias, which is the DSM-5, which I know they use it, I believe in the States and also here. All right. They use that. It's for those who never heard of the DSM-5, it's what they use to diagnose people. It's a criteria that they use to do that. I don't know if I'm explaining this properly. Um, but yeah, they do all that, and also a lot of different medical tests they may do to figure out what is wrong, what is going on. Okay. I've done most of those, which is MRI, CT scans. They're not going to be pleasant. It depends on the stage of your illness. Um, because I remember there's so many different machines. When they put you inside the machine, they put something in your ear and everything is just spinning. It goes slow and spin, spin, spin. And I know for people who are in the thick of the storm of their diagnosis, that can be very, very traumatic for them. To just this the noise, overstimulated. Let me put it that way. Okay. And it can be. So that's also something else they use. Okay, cognitive testing and psychological testing. I've had to do those, and on and off they still do them for me. Just to have an assessment or an idea of how are your thoughts being processed based on what you're hearing, based on your environment, based on what you're experiencing. How are they impacting the illness that you're currently experiencing? All right. And again, schizophrenia impacts people differently. It can impact your memory, your thinking, and how are you responding emotionally? I've talked about the flat effect, how people's emotion can be flatline. All right. So they test all of those. All right, you guys. Yeah. So let's talk next about support. Okay. Let me say how crucial and important it is to have a support system, to have anybody there to help. For me, I did have some support. Was it enough? No. I still don't have as much support as I could have had. So a lot of it I've had to fought and I continue to fight alone. And I don't wish that on anybody because it is very hard, very traumatizing when you're going through an illness that is so violent, so terrifying, when you don't understand what's going on, when your reality is no more, when it's something else. All right. So the type of support you can have, it varies for everybody. It's not the same. I always urge people to find what works for them. All right. Continue to educate yourself, continue to advocate. All right. Number one support that most of us do have, not all of us have it, like I've said. All right, is family and friends support. Okay. At times, even within the family circle or friendship circles, it is shaming. It can be very hard. And it's very helpful to have family and friends that are there to not judge, not criticize, but to listen. All right. And to allow people that are experiencing any symptoms with schizophrenia to calmly process, collect themselves, to let them know what's going on. If you're a family member or friend, if you've noticed the person has withdrawal, they stop doing normal things that they typically do on a daily basis, then my hope is that you'd be able to eventually pick up on some of the behavioral changes, the way they talk, the things they used to do and don't do. So kind of pay close attention to that and address it in a way that is not triggering for them. All right. And please allow them to speak. It may take a bit longer, but they're processing, they're terrified, and they're learning about their diagnosis. All right. So, family members, friends, please, coming from a schizophrenic to you, is to please help them. Help your loved ones understand what they're going through. Educate yourself. All right? Educate. Do your research. Ask questions, whether it's your healthcare professionals, their doctors you're asking questions, resource centers, whatever your method of accessing information is, do it. Do it because you love them. Do it for them. Do it for you. Do it so you are educated of what's going on with your loved ones. All right. And by educating, by educating yourself, you are showing love. You are showing that you may not fully understand what they're going through, but you empathize, that you're there with them, that it can be scary, but you're there every step of the way. All right. Second type of support, all right, is support groups. It is so refreshing. It fills the heart coming from my experience. And it's not as scary anymore when you can find community, different groups that you can get plugged into of individuals that have been or continue to go through the same exact experience that you're going through. So do it. It may be scary. Maybe because of your illness, you don't like people. You don't want to be around people. You're overstimulated. You just want to be alone. But I'm urging you, coming from another schizophrenic, all right, is to do it afraid. And from my experience, you guys, I've been plugged to many, still am plugged to many different support groups and community. All right. So do it. And my fear was that this monstrous illness I'm diagnosed with, who the heck's going to understand? They're not experiencing what I'm experiencing. It's not the same. I'm alone in this. When I plugged in to communities, to different resources, when I asked for help, when I advocated for myself, I'm like, this is not as scary as I made it out to be. Maybe you're doing the same thing, but do yourself a favor, get plugged in, because those people who are in those support groups, they're not there to judge you. They're not there to make you feel small. They're not there to do anything bad to you. They're going through very similar, if not the same, exact experiences that you're going through. All right. I've been plugged in with the Schizophrenia Society of Alberta, and I know AHS have many different resources and communities as well. There's so many programs available. Wherever you are at in Canada, or I'm not sure other places people are watching this, just get plugged in to your community. All right. And community programs, which I've talked about. Let's say you've been diagnosed for a while, but here and there you're still having triggers and symptoms. There are programs, there are places that you can call, connect with, where they can help you. Maybe you're schizophrenic, maybe you have other diagnoses or symptoms of mental illness. Due to those diagnoses, due to those symptoms, you're not able to work like you used to. There are programs where you can build social skills, you can train, you can find job assistance. There are people there. That's their job, is to connect you, plug you in into different resources that may apply to your needs. Housing support. Again, as I've shared different spectrums of schizophrenia, not everyone with schizophrenia are able to do those kind of things by themselves. That's why it's important to have family members, friends, and caseworkers or whoever it may be to help you. All right. And through doing so, it can help improve your life. All right. And also, which connects to case management. All right. Okay. So some people need someone to tell them, to remind them to take their meds. There's no shame in that. None. All right. And it's different for everybody. So if that's you, get plugged in and take your meds, okay? And yeah, if you guys have any questions as I'm sharing this, let me know. And also, there's so many other things I think that can be done to support people with schizophrenia. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's talk about life adjustments and how that looks like. Okay. So I've talked about support. Most of the time, going through those chronic illnesses, life has to change. And when it does, let me tell you, it does. It's not always easy. An example for me was that, I went from going to school, working to at least two jobs, three at one point. And out of nowhere, I couldn't do any of those. It was hard to be around people. I couldn't connect. I couldn't do any of it. And sometimes the adjustments that we make in life to take care of our wellness, of our well-being, is it's not going to apply to everybody. All right. When you do those things, you might lose people, people might fall away. It's not going to apply to everybody. So yeah, it's not going to apply. And it will take time, in my opinion, to know how to properly live to maintain your mental wellness, if I may put it that way. All right. And be gentle, be kind to yourself, be patient, allow yourself room for grace to understand how to properly coexist in society with an illness that is as stigmatized and heavy in society and our culture. All right. So for lifestyle adjustment, again, what I'm sharing may apply to some people and may not apply to some people, and that is completely fine. All right. So number one, healthy diet and exercise. All of those things, they do play a big role in our wellness, our mental wellness. So first, number one, when it comes to healthy, when we hear the word diet, we're like, no, I'm not dieting. And the way that I'm trying to express this, that is not what I mean. I think dieting is great. It's great watching what we're eating to maintain our wellness mentally. Um, in my opinion, I don't recommend it. You can eat healthy and make smart and wise decisions, and you can watch what you're putting in your body, but to restrict certain nutrition, um, that's not how I grew up. Some people may be like, okay, so it's a very sensitive, touchy topic. That's why I'm connecting it with my experience, all right? Because what works for me may not work for you, and that is completely fine, okay? So avoid processed foods and sugars, okay? Because it reduces inflammation, and do things that will support your brain health. All right. Some people take multivitamins, omega-3 or other fish oils, and other vitamin supplements. Again, always double check with your physicians, specialist. When you have to take any other, I wouldn't call medication, but vitamins or nutritional supplements. That's the word. Because you never know. For me, I always check. Why? Because I've had serotonin syndrome. You guys, it's how do I describe it from my experience? It's when one or two medication are together in the system, but they're not working well. So there's dysfunction in how they work in the body and the brain as well. I don't know if that makes sense. All right. And regular physical activity, which ties to exercise. When we think of exercise, we think, I'm going to run and get my heart rate up. It's not killing yourself when you're exercising, okay? That's not what I mean. It's taking baby steps. Let's say you freshly got out of the psych wards, hospitals, and you've been told to do all those amazing things that I'm sharing, to exercise, eat healthy, drink, and etc. Okay, it can be as small or as simple as walking around the block. That's how I started. Because when I got out, everything was just too much. Too much. Just being outside, I felt unsafe. Um, I got overstimulated. What I did is I started very, very slow. Let me walk you through my slow process, okay? Because when I got out, everything was just too much. Too much. Just being outside, I felt unsafe. I got overstimulated. What I did is I started very, very slow. Let me walk you through my slow process, okay? Um, I started by sitting at the entrance of my door on the balcony, and then I go back in and I go back out again. And then from there, I walk a block and I trace my step and I walk back again, another block. And then I started walking 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, and so on. It's a buildup for some people. Some people can do it right away, some can't. So know where to put put activities in, okay? And physical activity, I know there's been so many research that has been done of how activities physically has helped and continue to help and impact us mentally. All right. So do small things. It doesn't have to be like so extreme. Swimming is one, walking is one, running, even chores. Chores or exercise for me, you guys. I don't know for you, but doing chores, that one gets me every time. Okay, so do anything that helps your heart rate goes up, and just movement, motion, that will help. Okay, and number 2, sleep hygiene. Okay, let me talk about sleep, you guys, my cats. Let me talk about sleep. Um, some people have very, very healthy sleep hygiene. Some people have very shitty, shitty sleep hygiene. Okay. And people are doing what works for them. Is it always the right decision to deprive yourself of sleep, your brain, your body? No, but we do it. We know it's bad. We feel the exhaustion the next day. We feel how it's impacting how we perform at work, how we perform at home, but we do it. And this is not to criticize how people live, how they have their routine and habits. Great. But at times, I think it's healthy for us folks who are struggling with mental health diagnosis to especially get enough sleep. Why do we need sleep? I'll be doing a different series on sleep. So we'll be focusing on sleep, why we need it. Why do we sleep? We need it because that's when we're sleeping, the body recharges, the brain recharges, and also sleep helps us heal. That's it. That's the basic of it. I could go all science on you guys, but I need to do my research to go science. All right, but that's why we need sleep. And as I've said, it's not to judge how people live their lives. Do you for you. But when your body signals you and saying, hey, I'm tired, the amount of sleep I got wasn't enough. I need more sleep. And at times we do ignore it all. We know we're supposed to get more sleep, but we don't. Okay. So when you get consistent sleep, it stabilizes your mood. You don't get more grumpy as grumpy, right? You'll notice when people are tired, they can't function properly, they can't think clearly. Everything is just bleh because they're not recharged. They're not feeling good enough to perform different tasks that they need to do. Okay, so do that. All right, I know you will. All right, and it reduces psychotic symptoms when we sleep. Okay, And let me touch on this a little bit because I'm talking about sleep, okay? I'm not talking about sleeping 12 hours, sleeping your day away. Um, you need to have healthy structure. Listen to your body, know when to sleep and when not to sleep, okay? Oh, this one's a really good one. I love that one. Next key point, stress management. Yeah, right. It is easier said than done because everything we experience outside of our house, at work, school, at home is all a stress. It's a stress ball, stress hurricane, I call it. Everything. We experience all those, but how in the world do we manage stress? I had a very different perspective on this way before I got diagnosed with the diseases, mental health, or whatever else I got labeled as. Okay, I had a very different perspective, and then I got diagnosed. I was stressed about the illness, and then I was stressed of how people were responding to me, how I was connecting with people, how I was talking to people, and so on. How do we manage stress when stress is how we live, how we survive, how we cope, how we thrive, how we connect with each other, whether it's on social media, at home, at work, oh, driving down the highway, road rage. How do we do it? You do it in ways that works for you, okay? What works for me may not work for you, and that is completely fine. I'd hope that what works for me doesn't work for you because you're not me and I'm not you, right? So when you reduce stress, it applies for anything in life. You can function in a state of mind that people who are choked by stress, pressure, and expectations cannot understand, cannot comprehend how we are doing it. All right. And also, when you practice mindfulness, meditation, ways to reduce stress, yeah, it will work in your own ways. And you will get whatever you put in, that's what you're going to reap. If you have an empty basket, you're not putting anything in it. It's just going to be that way. You may think someone's going to come to put some more hope in it, some more healing, some more of everything you're looking for. But it's nobody's responsibilities to maintain you. Oh, that contradicts to what I just shared about family and friends, support, community. Fantastic. Get all of those, all of them. Grab them and run, hold on to them, go back for more. But you need to do the work because there's only so much people can do to help. If you're not taking doctor's advice, you're not willing to listen or accept any types of criticism in a healthy manner, if you're not doing the homework, you expect results, you expect someone to hand you all the results and you don't work for it, it doesn't work that way. So put in the work. Okay. So for stress management, I'm going to attach mindfulness and meditation. Okay. Let me touch on mindfulness first. Mindfulness means so many different things to so many different people, to the point that it's customized to our needs. It's customized to our triggers, to our medications we're on, to our diagnosis, to our treatments. All right. Examples. Okay, let's say someone hurt themselves, their ankles or knee, something happened with it, they have to wear a cast, and so on. They have to be mindful of how much pressure, weight, walking, standing they're doing throughout their time at work or at home. All right, that's a different type of mindfulness. Another mindfulness I'm going to attach relating to mental health or schizophrenia is you mentally have to understand and comprehend when to put a stop to the amount of stimulations that you're having. Okay? Let's say, for me, I get drained very easily. I don't do downtown. Okay? Why? It's just too much noise. I already have enough chatter in there, and then I'm going out and I'm adding to it. It's not that I cannot go there. I make sure I go there if I have important stuff to do. If I do go there, I reduce my time there. Okay, maybe the same applies for you, to you. All right. So do what works for you when it comes to mindfulness. Mindfulness could be many things. I could be doing arts, maybe walking in nature. Nature gives, you guys. It gives, even though we keep taking away from it day after day, year after year, decades after decades, millennial after millennial. We cut, we burn, we do whatever to it, but it continues to give. So when nature gives, lovingly take from it. Some people practice mindfulness by just sitting at the park, looking out the water, the tree, the movements, the birds, the sky, so many different things. So do what works for you. All right. And meditation. I've done many different videos on meditation. Okay. The reason is um it it means something different to everybody. Okay. So when people say meditation, it's connected to hypnotherapy. I've talked to lots of hypnotists, and many different things that they do is that people think someone's going to have control of their mind over their body and actions. I can tell you that's not accurate. That's not the truth. It's far from it. If anything, you're gaining wisdom on how to properly manifest healing in your body and also in your life. All right. No one's controlling. There's no string. There's no puppet. It's just healing. All right. So meditation, again, with mindfulness could be walking in nature, going for a hike, a walk, a run, maybe swimming, whether it's indoor, outdoor. That's still connecting to one of the elements, water. I love water, you guys. My logo is of water in the corner there, if you guys look. All right. So do that. Okay, because it will help you. It has helped me. I've been meditating now for the past, oh, I think almost 2 years or 3 years. How do I do it? Oh, I accepted that I failed at it when I was first starting. Why? Because I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. Uh, so are you. We all are. Okay. And I give my room the space. If I missed a day, 2 days, I'm like, okay, I'll catch up. I'll do it again the next day. I'll do it when I can. Okay. And over time, it became routine and it just works. I've been doing it every day. I do it at nighttime before bed. Okay. Maybe you may want to do meditation at a different time. Do what works for you. Okay. Okay. Another key point connecting to stress management, structured routines. Without a structured routine, things can be like popcorn, very chaotic. And for us folks who are schizophrenic or diagnosed with mental health, we may not know that we need structured routine. So we remain in the past, we remain with the old self prior to the diagnosis. Okay. As I've said, sometimes the symptoms are so violent, it's like a gut feeling, a punch. You don't always see it coming. It just comes. All right. So for me, I have routines and I do them well, not because I'm perfect at it, because I kept putting in the work. I kept practicing it. And over time, I don't even have to think of doing them. I just do them. That's the power of our mind. It holds on to our actions and the things that we love and connecting the memories, all of it. Okay. So when you reduce when you reduced ways that you connect, and when you have routine, nothing becomes unpredictable. In that aspect, I mean, I don't mean in life. In life, everything is unpredictable. Go for it. All right. You know what is coming, and it helps you prevent any relapse. Okay. Routines could be, let's say, get up in the morning. You get dressed, you have your breakfast, you go to work, lunch, and all of that. Keep it consistent. Okay. All right. And also part of stress management is journaling. Let me speak for myself. I don't journal. I have a very hard time doing it. Why? Because I just do. Right? Different things work for different people. Maybe you like to journal. Maybe you don't. If you don't, what do you enjoy doing? Do it. Okay. And when you journal, it helps you process emotions. When you write things down, you keep track of your symptoms and different things that are happening in your body and for you. All right. So do that. My next point is, this one is delicious. Amazing key point. Avoid substance use. Again, that's a very tricky, touchy, and not so touchy subject, because people may be like, I'm an adult, I can do what I want. You're not telling me what I need to do, and this, like all the ego talk that some of us have and do. But the truth is, I've talked about this over and over, especially with schizophrenia. If you're struggling with schizophrenia, you are using any types of drugs, you are drinking, it will worsen your symptoms. It will pull you many steps back, if not to the beginning of when early psychosis or psychosis started. So reduce any type of substance use. All right? Because when you use those substances, it worsens your symptoms. It interferes with medications you may be taking. And it can. It can. All right? So do what works for you. But for me, I'm not, I'm not into that stuff. All right. Next key point. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Engage in meaningful activities. I think I've touched on that a little bit. Okay. What is your outlet? What brings you peace? What do you like to do? What did you like to do that you know you should pick up on again? Okay. Could be art, music, writing. Provide something. Give your body, your brain, something to process what you're experiencing, even if it's scribbling on paper. In my experience, using the hand somehow connects to different parts of the brain. If you don't want to do anything, just grab a pen, pencil, whatever it is, just scribble. And do it with no intention. And then start to put intention and meaning to it. All right, just do that. And what else do you enjoy doing? Do you want to volunteer somewhere because you can't work or hold on to a job properly? Do something. Get out in the community, because when you get out, when you do that, it helps you build a sense of community, a sense of it gives you purpose, gives you meaning, because at times being diagnosed with those diseases is that people make us think that this is the end of life, but it's not. All right. And to wrap up, understand that schizophrenia is, I would say, curable. I use that very loosely, but it is manageable, and it's a lifelong condition. It is. Every person who's being diagnosed with this mental illness, they live with it until their last breath. And it is an everyday fight, an everyday battle, consistently every second, every hour. they are reminded of who they were and who they are today. All right. So I believe from my experience that with the right help, the right support, the right treatment, if you're willing to adjust your lifestyle, you can live a fulfilling life in the community and you can become whole and heal. All right. And again, it's different for everybody. What I'm sharing may apply to some people, may not apply at all, which is fine. Take and leave what works. Okay. Do yourself a favor. Ask for help when you need it. Okay. What else can I share with you guys when it comes to recovery? And I've talked about so many different ones, but I want to touch on some other key points for you guys here. Okay. Recovery plan. When it comes to a recovery plan, it may take some time to do it. It may take some help to process the ways that you can potentially recover or get better from schizophrenia or other mental health diagnoses. All right. And it's not a one size fit all. That's what makes it very hard. If it were, it would be very easy for specialists, for people who are diagnosed, to snap their finger and be like, this is going to work for everyone who's schizophrenic, everyone with mental health. But it doesn't work that way. All right. Be willing to accept help and be willing to put in effort to build an action plan. All right. By action plan, I mean, where do you want to see yourself tomorrow? It can be as small as that. All right. Start small and let loose of expectations. I believe sometimes with that expectations, it builds up a momentum for us to potentially be hurt by the pressure of expecting something to happen. That may not happen at all, or that may not happen right away. All right. So build a recovery plan with your team, with your family, with your friend, and with yourself. All right. Do that. And here's my key takeaways, as I wrap up this amazing series that I've been doing. Some key points. Okay. Take them, leave them, don't care. All right. Take them, leave them, don't care. Get expert help right away. Advocate for yourself. Work with everyone in your family. Don't allow the stigma and the myth of schizophrenia to drown you, to pull you back, to trigger you. Don't do it. It's very easy to fall into it because we have everybody, especially those who are not properly educated on schizophrenia, telling us what's wrong. They judge us on a label without getting to know us. All right? So don't allow it. There are lots of people in this world. Some are very ignorant, stubborn, mean, cruel, nice, content, and some people just want to inflict their pain on people because they feed off it. It makes them feel bigger, makes them feel good. Just ignore it. Ignore all the bullshit that people are doing, what they're talking about. Focus on you. Self-care is not selfish, so do that. Okay? And when people talk about the different stigmas, educate them because they may not know what they're talking about. That's what makes it so dumb, because if someone doesn't know what they're talking about, they believe in what they're talking about, I'm like, I don't get it, but okay. All right. Ask questions about your treatments and meds. I know there's advocacy here. Use the resources that are there in your community where you are. Okay. I know there's advocacy in the hospital. You have your rights to speak about your treatment to speak and ask questions about medications that are being poured in your system and body. You have the right to ask specialists, the right, most of the time, the right to refuse certain medications if they're having severe side effects, if they're stopping you from getting well. All right. So ask questions. Just ask. You have the right to ask and remain active in society. Find things that you love, as I've shared. Do you like to paint? Do you go to church? Great. What else? Just do it all. Stop substance abuse, reduce stress, don't overwork yourself, avoid caffeine, exercise, which is all things I've shared. But I thought I would repeat most of it again and add to it so you can hang on to what works. Okay? And take your medication as prescribed. Okay. I'm on medication, you guys. I know not only there are stigmas around schizophrenia mental health, there's also stigmas around medication. When someone takes medication, it does not remove their humanness. It does not mean they're broken. They just need help for certain parts of their bodies to function in certain ways. So don't shame people for taking it. Don't make them look small, because it could be you tomorrow. Okay? So do that. And get help, get help, get help. What else? Get help and get help. Okay? So do it. So as I wrap up this series on, schizophrenia, I'll be touching on throughout different parts of other videos about general mental health, okay, just how it shows. To caregivers, to anyone who continue to fight this very, very hard, stigmatized, dense, heavy, heartbreaking mental illness, schizophrenia. You are not broken, you are whole. You are needed here. There are others in your corner that are there to help you. If you don't have family, friends, personal connections, please take the leap of faith to go out in your community. Find any shreds of strength or bravery that you have to seek for help. Remember, when you get help, it does not mean you're weak. It actually means you're strong, you're badass, and you're ready to fight this thing. So do it. And have faith that you will be well. You are well. What you're experiencing, it's temporary. It's lifelong and temporary. And it can be so tormenting, so gut-wrenching, so hard, so incredibly freaking hard to have everything stripped away, your reality, who you were, the identity you held onto from birth, and how your brain has played so many freaking tricks on you. It can be. I'm here to say I understand. I typically don't like to say that in most situations unless I actually have been through it. I understand, coming from another schizophrenic, someone who's being diagnosed with it. I know the madness that goes up there in the head and the mind. I know the tricks it plays. I know the darkness that looms around your thoughts. I know the weight that you carry on days when you feel like you cannot go on anymore, any longer, that life is over, that it's too much to live with, too much to suffer with, too much to hold on to, too much to try to survive. because that's what you're doing every single day is you're surviving. You don't know when the next trigger's coming. You don't know when the next episode of schizophrenia or antipsychotics symptoms are coming. You don't know when the depression is going to hit. You don't know when the anxiety is going to choke you. You just don't know. And I'm encouraging you in the depths of the darkness and despair that you feel, that somewhere there's a shred of hope in there. There is. Obviously, when you're going through those hard times, it is so annoying, so hard. And it at times can piss you off that people are trying to tell you there's hope, when all you feel is hopelessness, when all you feel is emptiness, when all you feel is brokenness, all the S. when that's all you feel. It can be so annoying when people, positive, happy people telling you shit like, oh, it's going to be good. You're going to get better. But they have a reason for telling you those. And I believe most of the time when they're telling you those, it's not coming from a place of egoism or selfishness or poking or making fun of what you have or not understanding. Is that they see hope in you. Maybe you haven't seen it. Sometimes we need outside intervention to see what's in us, to see what's around us, to see our potential, what we can become, what we can do, how we can do it, and why we should do it. All right? So hang in there. Obviously, if you need help, please get it. I will never stop saying get help. There's no shame in it. It's not weakness. And for those people who are shaming people for getting help, stop it. Just stop. Because it could be you tomorrow. Believe me. And when it happens so sudden. And when it does, you will have a taste of the medicine you've been feeding others. That is not their prescription, is not for them to take or choke on. Okay? So be supportive and ask for help if you're suffering with mental health diagnosis. Okay, there are resources, there are help. And also, the stigma of mental health, specifically schizophrenia. I hope you can go back and watch all the videos I've done of different scenarios, examples of when people with schizophrenia can be violent. Is obviously when there's drugs, alcohol, and other things involved, okay? And I want people to stop making other people feel small, especially when they're suffering so much, to just stop all the nonsense, period. Because when someone is struggling, they really don't need the extra baggage or negativity that is coming from outside sources, all right? So to people who are not suffering with mental health or schizophrenia, I think all of us, if you have a mind, you have suffered mentally. All right? If you're human, you have a mind, you have suffered. You know the taste of depression, anxiety. You know the taste of not being fulfilled. You know and have experienced people talking in your ears, people bringing you down, people suppressing your gifts, suppressing your ability to change, to make change, to impact, to grow. You know, if you've ever cried, ever felt sad, rejected, not needed in what you do and how you do it, how specialized you are in a category, you have experienced some form of mental illness, mental health, whatever label you want to put on it. All right? It's just that some of us who got hit pretty hard mentally, we need your love. We need your support. We need your connections. We need your empathy. We need you to understand. We need you to be there to advocate, to stop the stigma, to bring people down. All the madness that goes around, just for it to stop. All right? So we need you. Okay? So as I wrap up, I've shared lots with you guys. If you guys have any questions, reach out and let me know. Concern? Reach out and let me know. Again, I'm sharing my personal story with schizophrenia. Some people may be like, oh, I didn't know she was schizophrenic. I'm not watching her stuff. I'm not going to be in her circle. Fine. Doesn't bother me. Bye-bye. Right? But on the other hand, there may be people who be like, wow, this is impressive. It's inspiring. It's uplifting. I needed to hear those words. I needed to hear her story. I'm going to share this. I'm going to connect with her. Please do that. That's how open I am. Take it, leave it. Don't bother me. All right. So that's all I'm going to share with you guys. Thank you to mental health professionals. They do work really hard to help us who need the help. Thank you to them. All right. First line responders, thank you. I know there's a lot more training that needs to be done of how police or first line responders of different branches connect with those with mental health diagnosis. All right. Again, my name is Bernadette 𝐶𝐻𝐶. I love doing videos like this. You guys be sure to tune in to other episodes I've been releasing. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at the podcast email, which will be in this video's description. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of it. Do it. Okay. Because when you do it, you're supporting what I do. All right. So that's it. Have a good day, you guys. Take care. Bye for now.